our first video on our Las Vegas special, I want to talk about some of the fascinating history involving Las Vegas and the Las Vegas Strip. Las Vegas got its name from a European scout named Rafael Riviera, who discovered the desert oasis, and basically in Spanish it translates to the meadows, as an acknowledgement of the wild grasses that grew there in the desert. Some of the famous nicknames for Las Vegas include the City of Lights, Sin City, the entertainment capital of the world, and it was once known as the gambling capital of the world. Las Vegas is one of the most popular and iconic destinations in the world, as it has a lot to offer in its architecture, lights, and its attractions. When people think of Las Vegas, they often think of the Strip. But however, the Strip is only 4 miles long, with the Mandalay Bay being the southernmost point of the Strip, and the Sierra being the northern end. A fun fact that I found out about the Strip is that it's not actually in the Las Vegas city limits, but instead is directly south in the towns of Paradise and Winchester. Las Vegas always had a small and well-established illegal gambling industry, but come 1931, the Nevada state legislature legalized gambling at a local level. Along with this, the Hoover Dam was being built from 1931 to 1936, so both of these caused more interest to be seen in the Las Vegas area. The first hotel and casino built was the El Rancho Vegas. Opened on April 3rd, 1941, it had 63 rooms and remained open until it was destroyed by a fire in 1960. The success of the El Rancho caused the second hotel, the Hotel Last Frontier, to open in 1942, and at this point famous mobsters and crime figures from across the country started to take a more serious interest in the possible future of gambling in Las Vegas. One of these people was New York's Bugsy Siegel, often known as Hollywood's first mobster, as he had many friends with actors, actresses, and politicians. But he is also known as the father of Las Vegas, often being claimed that without him, Las Vegas would never exist. His real name was Benjamin, but he was nicknamed Bugsy due to his quick temper. It was supposed to represent him being as crazy as bedbugs, but of course nobody would use this name to his face, as it was practically a death wish. Bugsy was an assassin of approximately 30 men until he moved to Los Angeles in 1937 and began a gambling and book service. Come 1945, he started funding the Flamingo for $1.5 million. Due to Bugsy skimming, though, the budget for the Flamingo ended up being brought to $6 million by the time it opened in 1946. Bugsy also funded in the Desert Inn, which would open in 1950. However, he would not live to see this. Due to Bugsy skimming and causing so much money to be put into the Flamingo, he was shot and killed in his house in 1947. 1950s, Las Vegas was known as Atomic City. This was because of the Nevada test site located next to Area 51, a couple hundred miles north of the city. There they tested nuclear weapons and atmospheric tests, causing mushroom clouds to be seen from the hotel swimming pools. And in 1959, the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign was placed 4.5 miles south of the city limits to draw interest into the city. Come 1960s, Caesar's Palace would open for 1969. And the Flamingo during the 60s was used to train future employees for the International Hotel. The International Hotel would open in 1969 with a total of 1,512 rooms, and this began the era of mega resorts. The first MGM Grand followed this, opening in 1973 with a total of 2,084 rooms. At the time, it made it one of the largest hotels in the world by number of rooms. Come November 21st, 1980, the MGM Grand experienced the worst resort fire in the history of Las Vegas. Electrical problems caused the fire that would result in the death of 87 people and the closure of the casino for 8 months. Finally, come 1986, the MGM Grand was sold to Bailey's Manufacturing and was renamed Bailey's. The Mirage would then open in 1989 and the Rio and Excalibur in 1990. Many of the resorts and casinos that you can see on the Strip today did not open until the 2000s. Come 2006, Las Vegas lost the title to the gambling capital of the world. So in 2012, the Ferris wheel and the retail district were built to add more diversity to the city besides gambling, and this now gives Las Vegas the title of entertainment capital of the world.